So last night I bored out one of the pieces for the rest of the hub and got it welded front and back, and now I need to ream it. Now that it's cooled off, I think the inside of that hole grew a little, so I'm going to ream it again to 3/4 of an inch, and then it'll slide right on there. So I took these wheels off and I put a block underneath that center hole and used some 6-inch calipers to measure the depth of that, and it was like 4.490, so 4 and 490 thousandths of an inch. So I just manufactured these to 4.5 even, and that way I could take up a little bit more of the slop that was in there. I still have room for the thrust washer on the outside and then the C-clip. So one's done almost. Just got to clean up some of the welds and re-ream it. But I borrowed Putt-Putt's gas tank, gas cap. You hear that chicken? So yeah, last night we did that KBS clean, dragged this around in the field, and then I drained all that out after it sat another hour or so, and then used the garden hose and just flushed the whole tank, let it drain. There was no petcock in the bottom, and I even let it overflow. Just flushed everything until the water ran clear, and then used the shop vac on the blower option and blew hot air into that tank, and it helped dry it out. I did ground the voltage regulator just to the battery bracket for now, and it seems to run pretty good. This engine does smoke, so I'm aware of that, but it doesn't seem to use much oil. I just checked the oil last night after probably a couple weeks of it smoking like that, and it's still right up where it needs to be. So it doesn't seem to be enough for me to be concerned about it. So that's that. So I reamed this all out on the lathe, and it spins pretty all right. The spindle's a little rusty in the middle, and I probably could have cleaned that up a little bit with some emery paper, but I'm guessing if I just run it like that, it'll be okay. My plan before it's finished is to right there, I don't know if I'm going to drill that out and put a greaser, or just put a set screw there, just maybe for the look of it, and then come over here and put a greaser somewhere, maybe even on the outside, so I can just do it from the outside. I don't know, but that's it. And so here it is, sitting on the ground, actually installed, and I've got some clearance both ways, and all in all, I measured the center of this tread to the center pin of the axle, and then the center of this tire to the center pin, and I'm only a 1/2 inch wider track as far as the scrub radius goes from here. So I believe it's still going to handle pretty well. That looks pretty good. This one is finished up. I just bored that out and welded it. Now I'm just letting it cool down so I can ream it just like I did the other one. And then I'll clean all the welds on the face of that hub where the wheel meets the hub and mount it up too. And there we have it. It is together. The left front and the right rear tires don't seem to hold air. They go low pretty quick. But honestly, the ply of these tires, the strength of them, I might just run them flat. I don't think I can really hurt them. If that doesn't work out, I'll just pick up a set of tubes. I think this would be a sweet tractor to load all the tires. And that would give a ton of weight. With them skinny tires up front last night, driving around, it was pretty easy to pull the front end, you know, like 6-8 inches off the ground in second gear. I want to make sure that my kids can jump on this and go for a ride, or my wife or anybody else that isn't used to the way these things act. So worked out pretty good. I've got just enough clearance on the front spindles, and it handles well, and I'm pretty happy. I even like that little short stack. I might end up maybe just cutting that top off and putting half of that stainless steel stack on, so it's still up in the air, and it also would, you know, 90 out. I think that would help with the fumes, getting them above my head when I'm riding it. But otherwise, I like it. It runs good, as I knew it would, because I already had that engine on another tractor. But the wiring definitely needs to be cleaned up eventually, and I'd like to make a box to mount that regulator a little more out of the weather and elements. Whether I put it up near the top of the engine, you know, between the gas tank and the engine, or even just build a box where the battery should go and put it in there. But otherwise, I'd say this tractor's pretty much done. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know it took a while. It seems like my projects kind of are hit and miss, and once I get back on them, I jump on them. So y'all take care. These are my two 1962 wheel horses. One on the left is the 552. The one on the right is the 502. Neither are stock. I guess they're far from. But I like them.